It only takes me a minute or two to restart the stream and do some things, because we're going to restart the stream and do some things. Things. What things? I'm sure you're wondering. I'm sure you're very curious. We all want to know. We're just observing. But let's find out. Let's see what we can do with this, yeah? I like to go over, how do I say this? We're going to end up talking about a process in the making of our game. It's not about making this game, it's about the process. And in fact, if you enjoy this kind of work, you are always working on the process and making it better. Well, here's a story about a man named Brady. It's a story about how we often run into challenges with the kind of issues that seem like you should be able to tackle it one way, and it turns out it's happening another. And long story short, we got some words to say. So let's talk about it. What we were working on most recently is the concept that, as we play our game, we want to give the player more. Yeah, no, let me try it again. If we are playing this game, we have a core gameplay that is decent. There's nothing wrong with it, really. But it is short. It's about 3 minutes long. That's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. If I play, I do this, I say, oh, I'm playing against another player, and I can choose my marching orders, so I'm going to go for the one with the most luck. Take them down. I don't know when you'd ever want to do that, but let's go for it. And I've set my cards. I've chosen the cards that I want to play. I didn't spend any time on that. I picked my formation, and here we go. At this point, there's not a lot going on, and in fact, whether or not this kind of control, this do battle button exists in the final game is totally in question. I have a strong feeling it won't happen. It's not going to be there. Instead, I think, hold on, let me triple check everything's working. Yes, it is. Okay. Um, I don't know if we're going to have this control, right? There's other parts about this phase of the gameplay that we are working on now because this feels very inactive. Along with that, we are saying, well, it's a 3 minute match. You have best 2 out of 3 rounds, and it doesn't take very long to play. So along with this being rather passive, you did pick these cards, but that's it. Like, you can change your marching orders, but that's it. Womp womp. We're going to try and win, but mostly this was me watching the battle. Now, it's interesting because suddenly that do battle button might come into play because while this seems very intentional, I could spend a lot of time thinking about what cards I want to play, right? This is actually, this is called intentional play. This is setting things up to watch them go, but the watching it go is really too passive. It's really not good enough. Wow, these are awful. Can I get better cards, please? Anything, anything, really. So this do battle button has been here for us to test this, and we developed a lot of this core gameplay. It seems good. But now, while I've been like, yeah, we should see a kinetic battle, we should see the, the forces march into battle, rah, and it could be real chaotic. That's kind of what we wanted. That's what I want. But while I've been saying this should go away because I want this to be kinetic, I want this to be active, I'm now starting to think actually it's a good thing that we have places to stop the battle so that I can, for one thing, change my marching orders. And for another thing, if I want to change the tide of the battle, like I picked these cards and now I'm feeling like I picked poorly. And if that's true, then I should do something beyond just this. This only counts if there is more than one opponent that my cards could attack. I can decide which one they should attack. In this case, I could say, pick the one with the least power, which means they're both going to go for tactical squid. Now, it's really not going to do too much. My card has power. This one does not. This has huge defense, and it's going to do absolutely nothing. So I'm going to go for least luck. So, Rock King did target twin ogres. This is really not a whole lot of control. And it feels very passive. It does not feel very intentional. It doesn't feel very strategic or tactical. It feels like it's out of control, which is sort of what I wanted with the battle, chaos of the battle and all that. Your, battle plans are solid until first contact with the enemy. There's things that I wanted about that make some sense. And it is balanced. It is together. There's nothing technically wrong with this core gameplay yet. But that's not, the player doesn't care if it's bug free. In fact, they only care if there is a bug, right? Now, we need to manage things a bit more in terms of these cards are terrible. We need to manage things more in terms of what the player can do after this, because this is a lot of thinking and a lot of intentional choice and stuff, but we run out of that as soon as we click this. So one thought was that we can affect the battle. We can have some extra things in reserve and lay it down here once we realize we need to. This is like the general looking at the battle as it's shaping up and making a change and like blowing a battle horn or raising a flag or some other kind of massive change that says, okay, troops, do something different or whatever. This could even be like a wizard looking out over the battlefield and casting a very powerful spell to completely change the tide of the battle. That's what I want. That's what players want. That's what I want to see. That they can't do it often. It's rare. In fact, they need to gamble on that as well, bringing something into the match to use at some point to do something big. At this point, if they're like, oh, I wish I had that other one that I should have brought in, then they're going to want to play again. They're going to want to get better at using these extra things. Now, is this a deck building game? Are we talking about extra cards you can play? No, because it's confusing to say that and also have these 50 cards in battle that you can work with in the core gameplay. So, no. Instead, we're going to collect pearls. Thought about different things, talismans, marbles, spells. But instead, we're going to say a marble drop. Sorry, a pearl drop, or dropping a pearl, is an action you can do because you've collected these things and you throw them in and you can do something with them, right? So along with our ability to save some stats, we can collect pearls. And we don't have pearls to collect yet, but I think this is going to change really soon. because along with our ability to hold this data, along with our ability to go along a campaign where each of these is a separate match, but it's got an intentional opponent, and the opponent is doing something bad to somebody else, and you're going to help them. And if you defeat one of these, you can move on. Defeat that, move on. Defeat that, move on. Defeat this. You've defeated the boss, and it does get progressively harder in a minor way. But if you complete the end, and you come back and win, right now it will go to the main menu and silently, visibly reform the campaign so you have a new campaign to play. But it'll be here. Right now it does this, and it will show you this, which is pretty and cool and fun. You're seeing lots of things going on. First of all, this, right? This is what I've been thinking of in my mind, that there is a revealing of the thing that you found, that you found a pearl. Right? See that? With the leaves revealing the thing, right? But also, by the way, we've got different color pearls, right? Pearls of different hues and saturation and value. And we've got shaders for this and all this good stuff. Well, the leaves, we made a couple of leaf images and brought them in, and you can see it animated and stuff, right? Well, long story short, there is a problem. See this warning? It is a warning that's happening every single frame, because what I am doing to make this happen is a bit of a technical challenge, and we've done it multiple ways. First of all, I just wanted to show an image, and then I wanted to have these leaves and do some animation, and now I want some effects on it, like this. Doesn't that look cool? Wouldn't this look great? I would like that. That's what I want. And how come I can't see those effects here? And what is this warning? All right. So this is where we run into a series of technical challenges, and we have to find our way. At first, I just went into GIMP. It's like Photoshop. And made a bunch of pearls. I just made some pearls, different colors, and said, okay, now let's put that on the pop-up that says you found a pearl. But I said, well, I'm not going to make 85 pearls. Like, no, this is inefficient. I'm literally just changing colors in GIMP and then exporting it. No, why do I need this many images? That's inefficient. I shouldn't do it that way. Instead, I should perhaps make a shader. So I made a shader. That is code, actually. It does combine all those layers that I do in the image processor, but it looks like this. So I've got a base color, a texture that goes over that. I've got the edge, the reflection mask, the tone mask, the highlight mask, right? And all together, it would create, and I can set the color for each of these, and it combines it all. Okay, cool. So I'm good, right? Well, it's good if I want to lay this down as an object in the scene. But what I was doing was having it show up in our GUI. In this UI element, this pop-up, ignore the scene view for a second. In this pop-up, I just had the image of the pearl here. And it was static. It looked like something. It had different colors. But I wanted this reveal. This is supposed to be special. There's like a little tiny beginning, middle, and end that I want. The beginning being where, you found a pearl and it's found under the cover of leaves or something. under the cover of rocks or pebbles or sand or something, I need to reveal it. So beginning, middle is the coming out, and then the end is going to be some kind of celebration. Well, I have no end. It is nice to see it revealed. This does add stuff, as I expected it would. When you see this appear and you begin to see the leaves move, it is creating some anticipation. I might just slow this down a bit. So we went into GIMP again and made images of leaves and came back here into Unity and began working with animation, and very quickly got frustrated because of the system of animation that is here. It's not awful. If you have nothing else, you can, set keyframes and that stuff. And we had some animations saved, and we were, well, long story short, we went that route. And I got so frustrated at how long it took to get such little results that was only for one leaf. And I was like, what? No, I want two. In fact, I want other things later. Like, no, it's just unacceptable. And I know, both from an animation background and from a programming background, this is so simple. It should be better. Let me just make a better tool. Now, programmers will often fall into this trap of deciding that they can do this better. Stand back. Let me write some code for you. And then they proceed to go down a rabbit hole. Well, I wanted to avoid that, and so I went the route of figuring things out for a long time. And then I said, no, I'm pretty darn sure this is simple, and I'll come back to it, but it was simple, actually. The simple for the shader that we wrote is, I guess, less simple. It's not C#, it's a different language, but it's relatively straightforward in terms of, like, you define your variables. If you're not doing anything fancy with a vertex shader and you're just doing a fragment shader, you can just leave it alone, which I did. All I needed to do was layer separate layers of the image with color. And actually all that's in the fragment shader. So grab your images, all the masks for all those layers, color them. And because I have color for each layer, I say, give me the R, G, and B, or red, green, and blue of each. And my music has stopped. But just take the mask or alpha of every layer and color it with the color that is supposed to be there. And in fact, for most, that was pretty straightforward. For this one, I needed to get a gradation of gray. So I just did a slightly more fancy multiply, which is frankly what I do for all the alpha anyway. Take the color and the alpha of the mask and multiply them together to get a colored mask. And this literally says layer the first layer first, and the second layer on top, the third layer on top of that, the fourth layer on top of that. This is really straightforward. LERP, by the way, wondering what that word means. Linear interpolation. I don't want to go into shader code, but I do want to point out that this is processing color pixel by pixel. Each of these lines of code is processing one pixel's color. So I'm doing all of this for each layer on that one pixel, including the alpha, and then I'm done with that one pixel. And it goes back and it does the same process for the next pixel. It's very interesting because while most of our code is dealing with rules of the game, frames and positions of objects and conditions like that, shader code is about color. That's a different way of thinking. It's an interesting thing to talk about, but not now. Not now. Now, what I would like to do is fix the music, please. Yes. Where is the music? Oh, there it is. It just showed up. Okay. I don't know why, but I'll take it. Um, yeah, I think my phone is very, very far behind live TV. Well, I need to do the stupid for a second. Let me try the stupid. Hmm. Yep, I'm gonna have to do the stupid. Here's me doing the stupid. Why is that not set up? I don't know. Okay, all good. Um, Part of what we were doing with the shader was to make that pearl reveal happen. And so I went several routes, including deciding I'll go ahead and make a setup with a camera all its own to capture all of the imagery of the pearl, the leaves, and all that stuff so that I can output that, what the camera sees, the separate camera, what I'll output what that separate camera sees to a texture, a render texture. So there's the element of the pearl, and one leaf, another leaf. I even have the particle effects. And this is meant to be sitting in the background somewhere in the main menu because I figured, well, it's the main menu where this pop-up is going to happen. So off screen, I will have this sitting there and it's waiting patiently just in case you collect a pearl and then it pops up. Well, hold on, I think my whole process aborted here. It pops up and tells the leaves to move out of the way and all that jazz. Well, please note the pretty effects that I put on this thing uh, are not visible. They're not visible in the pop-up. So that's problem one. Problem two, as I mentioned, the animation was driving me crazy because I would just wanted something simple, and I ended up having to do multiple steps to do one thing, and I needed two. It was absolutely ridiculous. I wasn't going to be able to reuse it. There was like just a huge time suck for very, very little result. Totally unsatisfied. And I realized as I stepped back, this process is terrible. I need to make the process better. So, along with using our fancy shader for this thing, which we do, um, so this is a instance of that prefab we were just looking at. There's the texture camera rendering to that render texture. So it's literally camera going to a texture and then the text. So this, you can see the particles. You can see them. Why aren't we seeing? Well, part of it has to do with this error. And it's not an error, it's a warning. Technically speaking, this should be okay. It is literally telling us I have to just stop and do some research, in some low level, in some low level graphics format language, that there is a format and I'm taking it from a separate format and it's needing to do a conversion. For some reason, it needs to tell me so in a warning, and it's doing it frame by frame. It is garbage. I hate things that clutter up my console. This is not something I can affect, apparently. I went around and around and around. What can I do? And sometimes it was described as a problem with the resolution of this texture. Sometimes it was uh, related to the hardware that I'm running on, which is ridiculous. This is garbage. I'm just trying to get this image that I can see here. Can I make that happen? Yes. Because let's step back for a second. What do I want? I want this. Where's this? Well, it's in the scene. You mean I could just do this in the scene? Yes. So I went around and around on this, and I'm now realizing the problem that I'm struggling with is coming from the fact that I want this to be in this pop-up image, which itself required that I actually gray out all of the main menu. And in fact, it required that I make this pop up really dark so you don't get distracted by the stuff behind it, which is not entirely successful yet. In other words, what am I doing, right? In other words, can't I just do this simpler? And the answer is yes. We have a dedicated screen for pearls, right? Well, shouldn't we just do this here? Shouldn't we just do this in the engine with the camera we already have and all the effects and everything and avoid all this render texture garbage? Yes. Yes, we should. So along with stepping back and being like, man, that animation system is terrible, I can do it better. I looked at this step back and went, hold on, what am I doing? If the whole point was to finish a campaign and come back to the main menu to say a pop-up, but that pop-up needs to basically disable the main menu entirely, well then why do we even need to go there at all? Why don't we actually use the screen that's dedicated for the Pearl collection in the first place? Instead of going to the main menu, why don't I just go here? And why don't I use, something like this here? Maybe not with the camera and the render texture. But why don't we just do this? Actually, hold on. There we go. I mean, wouldn't that be better? It would look great, wouldn't it? It should. I think this camera's getting in the way. So I know what to do now. I did a lot of trial on this path and that path and trying this thing and trying that thing, starting from, let's just go into the image processor and make these images. That was the first step. And now I'm all the way down to here saying, yeah, let's use what has worked and let's abandon the stuff that doesn't work. It is that simple. So while I was thinking I should be fancy and try to make use of a render texture, there are times when this makes a lot of sense, especially in menu stuff. If you, I don't know, if you're customizing, I don't know. There's some instances where this makes sense and you can layer this image on top. But I ran into enough problems with this that I am now questioning this at all. I should not do that. And because at the same time I'm losing the cool effects that I want and all that, let's just redo this. So let's turn off this camera. Boom. I don't mind any of this other stuff. It's all fine, except I might make this big. And as I just realized, this should be big, big, big. In fact, I might even make it bigger than that. But with that, I'm also going to go into the main menu and remove this because this no longer makes sense here. Bye-bye. Instead of going to the main menu, I'm going to come to the collection screen, which is called pearls. And so I'll just throw this here. Now, how big is this? If I hit play. It's cute. Should be bigger, right? It should be bigger, I think. I think so. I mean, it does look like a fancy pearl. Small. Actually, you know what? That's not too bad. It's just that when you do collect it, I want it to be a big deal. So I'm not sure if precious and small is helping us as much as bigger. I'm going to go with a little bigger for right now. A little bigger. So I have some code in a pop-up that's no longer here. But and part of that code would actually recolor the pearl. But boy, that looks so much better with the effects. Wait, where's my other effects? It's probably just behind. I will move this up slightly. There we go. A little more. A little more. Well, I'm seeing the glow. Should we go over why, sorry, should I go over the visual effects? Because I could talk about that for a long time. These sparkles need to appear. Oh, I'm in a, no, I'm in a orthographic thing. Oh, I've scaled everything up, right, but I didn't scale this up. So, could I scale this up? Yeah, I could, actually. But I didn't scale it that much. So I'm going to have to tweak this a little bit, but I did want a little bit of the sparkle sparkle. The glow and the sparkle together, right? So I'm going to have to tweak the size of this and all. But I do want this to live in collections, and I will have to transfer some of the code so that this does not just animate, but also adjust the color of this pearl that we have, because right now it is the standard white. And it's the code in our pop-up that changed the color. So I'm going to need to transfer some code. No big deal, though. I do want to adjust this scale before I go any further, actually. So when you select the particle system, it's giving you an update to it constantly, which is meant to be helpful, because there's so many properties to deal with that it can be difficult to manage unless you have the opportunity to see this in real time. So by default, I'm not hitting play at all. This is running on its own as part of the particle simulation because I have it selected. I select the other one, I get the other one running, and the other one stands still. So this will allow me to adjust. Okay. That's not exactly as much as I want. There we go. There we go. And I really enjoy, sorry, I'm going to go deep into the visual effects, but I really enjoy the fast and then the immediate slow down. That's a very fun, active motion that I like, and I'm going to keep that. The scale of this, because I changed the scale of the object, scale of this is a little more than I want. There we go. Now that is looking magical, right? That's looking special, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is why I pay attention to this stuff. So, the glow is one particle system, and literally there is a circle. It is a line drawn in a circle behind this pearl image. Along that circle, a particle can appear. The particle is literally a card with a glow, and uh, those particles can be spawned at a point on that circle. They are set to fade up and fade down at different sizes somewhere along the circle. What this means is if it's big enough, you'll see the edge of that glow as it fades up and fades down. You're seeing about 12 particles fade up and fade down at different times. They live for a little while. And because they're somewhere along that circle, you see that glow sort of peek out and grow and shift and shape in different ways. This is all intentional, but you might have wondered how I got that glow. That is how. The other one is literally another particle system that just throws out little bits of particle. There's the circle. You can see it. You can see the circle there. This also spawns particles along the circle, but throws them out at a speed, and they are tiny, and the speed reduces really quick. So that's what that motion of like fast to slow. It's dampening the speed. So that's two particle systems together making this effect work out. They both use that circle, yeah? And it's behind the image of the pearl. So that's what I'm getting. Okay. I like this, and I'm going to make sure that these changes are saved onto the prefab, just to make sure I don't need to worry about it. I can continue to adjust and make revisions on it. It is saved, yeah? Although, don't forget to return the leaves. Okay. So I will use this now and transfer some code, but briefly, this is me getting frustrated with the animation system and saying, no, this is okay. It's standard, but it was also, boy, it was a pain in the butt to get one leaf to do two keys. And then I needed to trigger it somehow with code. And I'm like, well, at that point, why am I not just coding animation? Because I'll do both leaves at the same time and have more flexibility, and I can reuse the tool and do my stuff faster. Yeah, actually, all of that. It is more flexible, it is faster, and this took less time to code this up and make the leaf animation than it took to make one leaf do two keys. It was ridiculous. So I'm going to continue to evolve this script, but literally it allows me to define an object that will move. I can set a beginning key and an end key, and these numbers match these numbers it just makes it so easy to see. And then I can specify the length of time it's going to animate and how it animates. Like this was dead simple. And why is this not how our animation systems normally work? Like literally animate this object for this long in this way using these numbers in the beginning and end. Yeah, do that. And I can even add more keys here and do more stuff, but like that's simple. I now have both leaves doing what I want them to do when I say, get this, go. Like that's it. That's the whole thing. I, like I said, I coded that up and made this animation in less time than it took me to animate one leaf with two keys, which then needed more code and more things to implement. It was ridiculous. And that wasn't reusable. This totally is. So I want more things that, you found a pearl under some rocks or sand or something. I can do that now. So yeah, I'm sorry, Unity. That there's no excuse for making bad tools. So let's transfer some of this code that we had before, because I don't necessarily want to get rid of the idea of a pop-up. If I start with the idea, that we are going to transfer to this screen instead of the main menu, that's a good starting place. Then I will allow the pearl to change color. So it's changing colors and we can see this reveal. Boy, doesn't that look nice. So I'm excited for this because I think it's going to work well. Let's start with the campaign, because this is where we ask it to go to the main menu. And I'm just going to say, no. Go to collection screen. That is the name of the, oh no, it's called collection. The scene is called collection. The script is called collection screen. Okay. Our pop-up that was on the main menu is going to go to collection, and it was in charge of detecting if the current campaign was complete. Yeah, this. So let's just transfer that. This script. So that script was here. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Impact, cut, bink. And paste, bink. Wait, bink, please. New. Copy. Paste. There we go. Why did cut not work? Like, don't give me cut if cut doesn't work. Oh, paste, please. There we go. So, let's do that. We are in the campaign. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong scene. Duh. Collection. There we go. So what I propose is something similar to this. We're going to see two, because the collection pop-up also has this thing. Oh, it's actually trying to read a render texture that does not exist. Yeah. It's not being drawn to, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. So it's going to be doubled up because it has two. This, we have the one that we just did, but then also this. Hello? This. Oh, we are not starting from the right place, so it completely aborted. That's what this message down here says. Bing, bing, bing. Hello? Nope. I need to fix the main menu not to care about the collection pop-up. All right. Fair enough. And I need to do that as well. So let's come to our collection screen script and insert that plus the variable it uses. Okay. I assert that, first of all, this is not menu anymore. This is collection screen. And I assert that if I got rid of that, yeah, this is doing special things because while the collection pop-up is up, we want to disable all this stuff. Well, I don't need this anymore. Don't want it anymore. I very carefully go through. I don't think I need to actually say true again, but it won't hurt. Visual Studio, get out of my way. You are trying to be helpful by saying I can just hit tab, but I would like you to get out of my way, please. Like, get out of my way, please. I'm trying to type, and you're in my way. Like, you're throwing up tooltips and extra things, and get out of my way. I'm going to type some code, thanks. This is how I make mistakes, because I can't see what I'm doing because you're in my way. All right. Is this good? I think so. Don't see any red lines in our scroll bar. So this is good. We'll come back and do more animation stuff later. The collection pop-up and the collection screen, these are going to work together now. Collection screen checks to make sure this exists. I do. What? Wow, really? Really? What is this? What? Why? Visual Studio adding in namespaces that I didn't ask for and therefore errors. It's like, what? Get out of my way. Visual Studio. It's the best we got so far. Okay. This looks better. And I should be able to start this. Go into Pearls. And while this is existing as a thing that we could run, it doesn't have all the goodies that our pop-up does. Our pop-up we could also ask to run, so it's doubling it up. And in fact, you can see that it actually colored the Pearl and restarted the animation, right? That's what this pop-up is meant to do. And then it's meant to, capture that as a render texture, put this on top and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hold on, why don't we just get rid of this thing? It's kind of what I want to do. But get this. Let's have it disable the button that said back, and let's move this down and out of the way so that I can basically do this. So we see the glory of the Pearl, and yet you can't go back right now. It's still a confirm pop-up mode. So I need to do some thinking. I don't mind the idea that you say you found a Pearl, but we need the Pearl name and the description and all this stuff. And so I kind of just want to have two. I don't need it to say pearls right now. I'll tell you what. Let's just throw the box small, this thin box up top, cover up the main title for now. You might actually just replace the title. But, and on the bottom, let's not just disable the back button, but let's remove it entirely and have a second box down here, or maybe even lower and wide, that is talking about the Perl, the name, the description, and then the OK button. Give a lot of room for this. I really like it big. I really want it to be big. While that pop-up is up, I should have a... Yeah, I can cheat and get a different color thing to test this over and over. So let's fix this, you know? I like this. Make it look pretty. Make it look different. Now let's fix this, right? Let's get these two things to work together. I'm going to take a quick break to do that. Because coffee, and you know how we feel about coffee. I will be right back. Oh yeah, coffee. We had a raid the other day. That was fantastic, and people who were enthused about game development as well, which was fun. And I followed their channel and looked at their stuff. It was great. With more people, it's possible we could have, well, more discussions and input on the game and such, but also with more people, I advance as a streamer and could get like affiliate, which means I could have emotes and I could do more things with my channel points and fun stuff. And I don't need the money, but I do need to progress further just to get the channel to be more entertaining and fun. So hopefully that will happen. Let's move forward. There was a point at which I said, if this, how do we say this? This needs to mirror what we did with our main menu, where it detected the pop-up is here, it's on, and such. At the same time, we want to enable the detection of the save manager saying, hey, you completed the challenge. In fact, I think that's the first thing I want to do. Did I remove that already? Did I remove that already from menu? Where we are detecting if the save manager had already, no, I don't, hold on. Yeah, I don't think we have any more here that deals with that. So let's redo it. That's fine. The idea is our collection screen is also talking with our save manager. Save load script, whatever. The thing that's floating around the game from scene to scene. And so likewise, oh, is it this that does that? Oh, it is. Oh, I don't need to do anything here. No, I don't need to do this at all. It's the pop-up that does that. Let me just reform these. This is the screen. This is the pop-up. Okay. So this thing talks to the save manager. Cool. I'll tell you what. Let's do those adjustments that I was thinking about. One is there's two boxes now, not just one. There's a box that says you found a pearl. I'm going to make this short, but I'm going to make a second box. Where do I draw the box? Here. In fact, I don't need all this if I do this well. Let's draw two boxes, yeah? And the second box will be near the bottom. I'll just throw it here for now. We'll adjust it. Otherwise, it is the same except for the height. The height is short. Likewise, I will just throw this here and change it. And then I'll just copy all this because it's the same idea. So this is, I need to redo how I do boxes because I'm using the default background and it's too transparent. But this should be short as well. Not sure how short yet. I am not sure yet. And while this says you found a pearl, where is it? There it is. The second one doesn't say a thing. It just has the button on it. The button begins, that's the description. Here, yeah, I'm gonna need to adjust all of this. Start with the boxes and see where this is. What I'm doing at this point is adjusting the appearance of this pop-up. So we have two now. I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to adjust the positions of all these things. Yeah. Um, I may rethink this entire thing because I don't need to say this is the screen for pearls. Do I? No. I'm going to get rid of the buttons in the title anyway. So why don't I just do this on the collection screen? Ah, here we go. This script should talk to the collection screen. Basically, yeah. Where collection screen exists, we're good. If not, you got a problem. Otherwise, I can do this. Given that we have popped up, which is going to be true if this is here, then collection screen, you have a thing to do. The thing to do is going to involve, well, let's just try to make it distinct by saying it's pop-up active. This is meant to signify the collection pop-up active. In that way, I can just say it's on. When it is on, I want to change the title. You want to just grab this piece. This. So that while that's active, I change the title. Otherwise, it is the pearls. Okay. Also, this is active. I don't want to go do that. So let's say if not pop-up active. Okay. If not pop-up active, then it will go on and it draws this and looks to see if it's also pressed this frame. But if it is active, it stops this condition right here and doesn't even go here, which means it doesn't draw the button at all. Very handy, very helpful. This isn't necessary if I am not drawing it. So I think this is good. This is now saying something we don't need. We don't need to now. We don't need this. Instead, we're going to adjust. We're not going to do anything with this. Should I do the name of the pearl, actually? Rather than doing an extra label for the name of the pearl. I'll leave this blank for now. I'll come back. This now has one pop-up being drawn. I'm going to start the pop-up lower. How low can I go? It's going to start at 6. I will make it a height of something decent. Okay. You know what? Yes. Where does this button start? I'm going to have to adjust all this. So, oops, I've got an error. I noticed that just before I closed it. Oh, right. If the collection screen is here, and we are doing some of this, then collection screen needs to know that pop-up is active. And by the way, when we have a variable like a Boolean, we are going to turn on. We're going to use it, which we've done already. And we also remember to turn it off. In this case, the pop-up has an OK button, where we do a thing. Yeah, I was developing. Okay. And now this is going to be turned off. Yeah. All of this gets compiled. Let's see how much of it completely changes. It looks like pearls looks like pearls, but didn't know to change this yet. Let's run this again and get it to trigger. Oh, it won't trigger, actually. This won't change because Save Manager is not set to do that. Can I cheat and make that happen? I think so. I guess we have to log in. But with Save Manager here, I can say, yeah, we totally completed a campaign. Oh yeah, totally. Now go to pearls. Boom. Nice. So it says you found a pearl. This is looking clean. Let's move this up a little bit. Let's adjust all this. I like that it's big. I like that this is big. I think this is necessary. Definitely need to move this down. That's fine, actually. The size of the box. I think we need this much box, actually. We need this much box in order to describe this stuff. I already formatted the text, and I wanted like a lot of room for the text. I might actually need to make this button smaller by a little bit. Should immediately look better, actually. But I don't know that's enough. I really don't know if that's enough yet. So I haven't moved this, but yeah. Just do a quick test. I think I formatted this for like a lot of lines, and so I throw a lot of text in there. This is more than I wanted, but that's so this is good. Definitely can make the box wider. Wide. Let's go wide. Yes. This will make it easier. In that way, box width. And I am going to need to make this lower, I think. So like that. And that. So it's actually shorter, but wider. If that's true, and I start the button at 8, 5, I don't have a lot of room. This is not a lot of room. I mean, that's actually about the framing that I want. So now I guess let's start with adjusting the width of this. So that I can lower this. And I think I have more text than I actually need. So I'm going to feel okay if I do this. Well, no, not that. But I need to have some padding here. Ugh, so close. It's close, right? I need this to be an alert pop-up. This button needs to be there. You can't accidentally click it. It needs to be there. This needs to have all that. So I'm going to make it even wider. I'm going to use all of that room. And hopefully it doesn't look too weird compared to hopefully it doesn't look too weird compared to other GUI elements. Oops. Keep having alerts on my phone telling me I need to do stuff, but I don't need to do anything. Please, phone, stay quiet. Give me a second here. All right. Where are we at? Man, I like the vertical framing. This is looking very strange. I'm going to raise up the description slightly. I did say slightly, right? What? Oh, the height is okay. Right. No, this makes sense. Well, let's start with 0, actually. Let's start with 0. See where this is. We'll make an adjustment, yeah? Okay, so this is going to be crowding the title. And am I already padding the title? No. But this is tall, and I don't think it needs to be tall. Let's test that theory. Title doesn't need to be that tall. Oh, one of the things I did want to check is what it looks like when I have hanging letters, the name of the pearl. This is going to show it to be too short. Yes, too short, because I can see it cut off. So I need the pearl name to be decently sized. Gosh, I want everything huge. That's my problem. I want everything to be big. All right, I'll deal with it. For now, I will make this 1, and that is now going to split the difference. Wow, this is, I'm sure, not fun to watch, but me fiddling with the formatting of this page hopefully means I never have to come back and look at it again. Did I get all that? Okay, looks like good. And I did that once with our pop-up. I'm doing it again because I'm reimagining the pop-up. So with this like that, I should be able to say it starts at 7 and goes for 2. 2 skip. That is so close. You're just being a fiddly thing, aren't you? Don't deny it. You are fiddly. This is plenty of text. It's more than I need. It's centered. It's reasonably similar to the rest of the GUI. I need a lot of text because this is effectively going to describe the rule change that this Perl invokes when you drop it. That's a lot. There's going to be a lot there. And in fact, this may begin to inform how the rest of this Perl screen is supposed to look, because I may need to actually use something like this for every Perl you inspect. Yeah. Okay, I moved up this thing. The rest of it is saved in code. So this got moved up to 1.5. If I stop and come back to this screen, can pop this up to 1.5. Okay. What else we got? There was some code to yeah, none of this works because I'm in the wrong place doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. Yeah, I'm going to at some point test by actually completing a campaign to ensure that all of that is working. I'm just avoiding doing that now because that's a long testing cycle for a very short test. So let's come back here, log in as Doggo one more time. Yes, the password for Doggo is chat. And we'll go to the Perl screen. Nothing, right? Oh, this should be gone, right? Yes. This should not be here when we're not doing that, right? But if we have completed a campaign and then we come here. Wow, that looks so pretty. That looks so good. That's what I wanted. And it's simple. Gosh, it took, you know, I really thought this needed to be more complicated, and it does. I think these leaves are going to go away at that point. The Perl will be part of the Perl thing. There will be a Perl screen that needs to be composed properly now. But if we complete a campaign and we come from this screen, we go here directly, and this happens. Because you completed a campaign, you get this. It looks fancy and cool. It revealed, tells you the thing. You say okay, and with the leaves going away, The leaves should fade out, should they not? Oh, I'll have to play with that some more. But that should be working because we are sending it to the collection screen, the Pearl screen. We are setting that current campaign done. So I think this is already there. We haven't done anything else to the Pearl screen at all. In fact, we don't even have pearls yet. But I do like the way this looks. And the pearl name is going to go away. This long description is now necessary. Otherwise, this is proper. So we're going to need pearls, and even though we don't necessarily need to define what they do yet, I mean, we need to write the phrase about what they do, but the actual code that implements what they do doesn't need to be there yet. We can just show. This is temp and testing. That is true. But it looks so much better. It looks so much better with the visual effects and everything. Yes. We play this game and you complete a campaign because you are a named player that has their own stats, and you go through a campaign and you complete the campaign, and after the campaign is done, immediately sent here. And doesn't that look awesome, right? And as yeah, I wanted to. So you found a new pearl, comes in and it looks like that, right? That's what I want. I do like the idea that as you came in here, these leaves were here. In fact, I need to sort of pause before the leaves are revealed. There needs to be the beginning where you see just leaves. So the pause in the beginning is necessary, and then the reveal is the middle, and the end is going to be this special thing. In fact, I need to do the special thing now. So animation on the pearl itself as well, yeah? Not much more than maybe just pop up a little bit, grow a little bit. Actually, yeah, grow. Because we're revealing it's coming out from behind the leaves, yeah? Okay. Not sure if this camera we're looking through is actually perspective or not, or if it's actually 2D. Doesn't matter. I'm going to just animate this however it looks, needs to look for the screen. This looks entirely different than just seeing the pop-up there with the pearl. It does look special with the visual effects, but more than that, when we reveal it like this, doesn't it make the new color you see special? Ah, see what I did there? I knew this was going to look better once I did this. I'm going to tweak this beginning so it holds on the leaves a little bit longer. On the fence whether or not I should fade these things out, actually. I don't need to right now. In fact, might have 3 leaves and have like them blow away or something like that, right? Like as if blown away by wind, right? I like the framing of the leaves in this thing though, right now. So absolutely, this is looking a million times better. I'm going to go into the animation script now. I'm quite certain I'm going to be able to modify the script slightly so I can make more complex animation, and at the same time I will make the pearl do a little animated something something. This looks so much better. And imagine each of these colored pearls does something different. Yeah, it's named something different. We're going to need names. We're going to need rules for what they do. It looks so much fun when you have new things, you know? Let's try this. I made a scene specifically to play around with that animation. And I really was going to town with the render texture, wasn't I? But no more. In fact, I need to get rid of this camera. I'm not using it. Bye-bye. This thing's going to go right by. These exist. Why are they turned off? Yeah, that's weird. Stay there. Like, don't do that. Also, though, camera. Save the scene. So this is a test scene, and it's made for this. So I can play with this. Visual effects are good. Don't need to do anything else. The leaves are doing their thing. I don't need to do much else. If I add another leaf or do something special with them, that's fine. But it's the pearl I want to do something with next. What do I want to do? Well, I think as they get moved away, I like that this is covering and it, you know, with their leaves, there's something going on. What is that? It's a visual hook is what it is. I think this pearl card is going to move. So these move out of the way, and that's fine. In the process of that doing that, I think rather than moving forward or back, I think this just scales up to look like it's coming at you. I don't really want to change the depth of these layers at all, so I'm just going to scale it. And not by much. Maybe a little more than that. Yeah. How big can I go? Let's go big and then pull it back. Yeah, it's a little too big. That might be good. Can I still see the glow and the sparkles? Because if that's true, then I'll just leave it. I mean, it's subtle. I'm down. Let's do it. So that's 1.25, 1.25. Yeah. This is what I mean by a much simpler animation system. I would like that pearl card to move. I have these leaves moving already. Can't I just make a new thing to move? Let's make it this pearl card. Let's have it move over the course of these same 2 seconds, yeah? I can change that later. The keys, well, let's see. I would like it to start wherever it is right now. Where is it right now? It's at 0, 0, 0 with a scale of 1, 1, 1. Ooh. I mean like 0, 0, 0 and 1, 1, 1. Yes, sir. Oh, cool. So I'm like halfway done. Oh, more than halfway done, actually. What was the other thing I wanted? I wanted to go up to 1.25. Wait, am I done? Yes. I spent 20 minutes to make keys on one leaf that I couldn't invoke yet and needed to do more stuff, and it wasn't reusable. Ridiculous. That took me less than 20 seconds, and I just made a whole new animation. Come on. Give me a break. Right? Give me a break. This is better, right? All right. Not only that, but I think we can even do more than that. Yeah, that looks fantastic actually. It's very subtle. I am a fan of subtle to the point where I can do things that I'm like, isn't that cool? And they're like, I don't notice what you're talking about. Fine. I will continue to make it more obvious as long as it needs to. But at this point, um, see, I just did an animation and that's great. I'm actually going to change this code a bit because I can do more. These keys technically are very, very simply the transforms that I want to see from start to end, right? But I could add more keys. It won't do anything right now because it's really just looking at these two. However, this curve is already doing fancy things because I'm easing out and moving fast and then easing in. So it's this gentle curve. But these animation curve properties, let's just look at this code for 2 seconds. It is literally called an animation curve. It is one variable type, and it gives me this for free. I don't need to do anything else. Like, why are we making it complicated? It also has the ability, if I right click, to add keys. Now, this is not the same key as my key. I called my thing a key, but I should be able to do something with this. Right now, this just changes the way it works between the two transforms that I've described here. It's still 2 seconds, and it's changing the way it is interpolating between these two points. So I can make it go fast or whatever. But and there's a lot of control with that, which is great. There's no reason why I can't do more with that here. And I'm stopping, wondering if I should. I don't need to, right? I really don't. But I could, for example, I don't know, the fading out thing. I mean, it was just so fast and easy to do this. It's like, gosh, why don't I do cool stuff with it? That's fine. That's fine. One thing I can do though is pause. Right? I wanted some time before before this thing reveals. Right? So I hit go, and everything moves. And everything moves over the course of 2 seconds because that's what all of these things are set to do. But no reason why I can't adjust this. For one thing, I mean, I'll just do all the engines running and I'll have to redo it again, but that's okay. One thing, I can just lengthen the time that it does this. Okay, in fact, I'll lengthen all of them to 3 seconds. And now, why not just delay the time, right, by a third? So this is also a key, and there's no reason why I can't just right click and edit the values explicitly. This is just so much simpler than what I had before. Now, this is a hold for a third of the time. If I have 3 seconds, then it's going to hold for 1 second. So, is that it? Yeah, that's it. There's nothing complicated about this, and this is so much faster. It's ridiculous. So I wanted a beginning, middle, and an end. And what I'm adjusting now is making sure there is enough of a beginning that the player sees it. Oops. Why is it still 3 seconds? Oh, I've already started the script. Sorry. The script, it's not made for me to play with it while the engine's running. But let me just do those things again. No big deal. It's not made for me to adjust midstream like that. I could adjust the script to handle that. It's not necessary. The only time that I would do it is while I'm developing. So big. I am confident that this is precisely what I need to do. Okay. So I will save this and hit. Again, this is my test scene, but what I'm saving onto is the prefab. So this is exactly what it will look like. It did hold a second and then it went forward. So here, let me do it again. Click. And there's the hold you can see. That is just enough time to see there's something. It's revealing. It's there. It's pretty. Now I'm going to go ahead and make our pearl keep going for a little bit longer. And in fact, I may make it go a little bigger. No. And this is starting out, hold on, the curve on this. Uh, uh, what? Looking at the animation curve here. So the graph shown here in the inspector is showing it's starting immediately. If I look closely at the numbers, though, it's not. Well, that's confusing as heck. I mean, I guess I could technically add a key. All right, whatever. Let me just play with this for a second because it's not showing me what I think is there until I look at the numbers, which is kind of silly. Yeah. And further, I'm going to make sure that this is flat. And so now when I look at, yeah, there it is. There's my hold. So I actually should add keys to make that happen. Okay, fine. Whatever. I mean, just to make sure that I can see it happening and keep track of it so I can manage my animations easier. Good to know. Good to know. This will be flat, and this will be at third of the time, and a 0 value. Done. Okay, still faster. Still a heck of a lot faster than whatever Unity was giving me. Whatever. So if I do it, that hold thing again, I will first, I will actually add a key instead of moving the key. Yeah. Okay, so this will be at 0.25. No, 0.25 time value of 0. Okay. And flat. Okay. Here's my other key. Did I not just add a key? Bruh. Okay, what? Stop. Stop. Time of 0, value of 0. Okay, this is because I'm going to lengthen this animation to be longer. I want it to start a quarter of the way in, not a third. Okay, so it holds for the same second, but goes a little longer. I'm gonna look at this and be like, what is there? See, it takes a little while for the particles to appear anyway. That's cool. That's part of this moment. And it's still growing, but it's so subtle. I have to be zoomed in this far to see it. So, should I start back a bit further? You know what? I will. Okay. Me noodling all of the things. Okay, so I'm just going to start smaller. Otherwise, everything's cool. Let's save this. I'm also going to make sure this is all saved to the prefab. And I'm good. I'm going to roll straight to our other screen, confident that this prefab is good and the animations are fine, but also that the script that I'm using to do this is as much built up as I want. I'm really just doing the transforms. If I wanted to do any other fancy animation, I could, but I don't need to. Perhaps form deeper checks on the animation data. You know what? First of all, are there animations? If not, well, I need to go further than that and be like, wait, each animation actually has to confirm these things as well. So yeah, deeper animation checks. I am validating code, validating the data before I operate on it because, yes, for each of these anims, let's check these things. Because if there's a problem with something, like, how could they mess this up? An animation length that is less than or equal to 0, I guess. But that's just a warning. I can still run, but I bet you made a mistake. So I will do that. I will ignore. Otherwise, I'm aborting. There's a difference between a error and a warning. If I can run, I will. But if you did something weird, I'm going to tell you about it. Yeah, the rest of these are probably going to be errors. What else? I'm looking at each one, and I'm checking, let's see, keys? Yeah, need to know, oh, there's an object. Is there an animation object? If not, that's an error. What else? You can mess up the object, the length, the curve. I guess if there's no keys on the curve, that's how it could be messed up. Keys, length. Okay, if keys equals null, or this has a 0 length. You need to check and make sure this has been defined before you can check to see the length. Either of those cases would be bad thing. Same thing here. Yeah? It's good. What's the other thing? I'm looking through each of these and how user could screw this up, right? So likewise, keys on, so I actually called this keys as well. But um, while this is describing how to transition, these are actually the numbers of transition. So um, okay. Now the numbers you put in there, I can't control that, and I wouldn't presume to care. Okay. So as long as it's something there, you're good. Yeah. Okay. So those are the deeper checks. You go through each of the animations to make sure it's got all the stuff. Otherwise, error out. Yeah, I think that's good. Watch me OCD this thing. Okay. So this script is good and we're done with it. I'm not going to touch it anymore unless I want to add a feature to it. Because as long as this works, I'm good. And it took so little time to make these animations. I had time to improve on the script and make it better, faster, easier, and do more. Not just reusable and easy. I mean, it's just no contest. No contest. I have seen programmers take it too far and say, stand back. Let me show you what it should be. But you know what? This is right. This is proper. Is this covering up the particles too much? Is it too subtle? You know, it almost is. It almost is. These are great. I'm going to adjust these keys. I'm going to go, what is the right size? Okay, that's nice and big effects. By the way, it's set to 1 right now. So it starts out tiny, or smaller, I should say, and then gets big. See, I adjusted these effects to be proper for that. So I should actually, yeah, I should do this simple. Instead of going to 1.25, let's go to 1. And we will start at small. We will start small. What does that look like? It might seem wild that I'm saving the changes to the prefab and saving changes to the scene, but it's the prefab that I'm going to use in the other scene. I'm really just testing here. By the way, I just saved making the leads visible. But let's return these. Okay. This is what it will look like. Yes. It's glorious, glorious, yes? I mean, how could that be any better? I mean, it's so subtle. I'm overblowing it, but it is. It's fantastic. Okay, let's turn these on. Let's save the prefab changes and save the scene just for laughs and go back to where we started because I'm feeling it. We're gonna come back to big format. Need the scene. There we go. Doggo, you just finished. a massive campaign. Look at all that stuff you just did. So good. And now, Doggo, you get the reward. That is glorious. 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 And we have the means to completely change this and revise it and make it better, but I'm happy. Doesn't that look damn cool? Doesn't that look freaking cool as hell? It's the beginning, middle, end. And I might even, let's pump up the end a little bit, actually. I could go bigger, right? We could have that bigger. Yes. I am going to noodle effects all the time, every day, all day. I'm always going to do that. Noodling effects. That's why I did that for a while. But if I just go back to saying, I liked it big, I want it big. In fact, I could probably, I don't even need to go that big. But that middle and end should be fantastic now. We're gonna just pump it up and pump it up and pump it. Yeah. One of the things I would say about effects, you heard me say it, you can never have too much. You can never have too many layers of effects. And man, I could go to town on this thing. Oh, 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 it is so cool. So this is a little big, but that glows is, I'm feeling it. The sparkles are there. Oh, I definitely see the growing. Okay. Beginning, middle, end. I think I need to make the effects bigger, actually. No, it's the pearl. The pearl needs to be the star of the show, not the effects. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna leave it right there because otherwise I'm just gonna keep noodling it. And let's be honest, I'm gonna come back and noodle this over and over again anyway. This is just, let's just get it done. Okay. So, what do we have? We have a replacement for our pop-up, which was the resolution of a campaign. We have now collected a pearl and we show it. This is necessary because now we have the means to say, hey, remember those pearls you got? Well, here's your collection of pearls. You can drop them. They do things, etc. Okay, this is glorious. And I just need to point out, it's also so much simpler. I need to manage the leaves. I'm gonna, when we do the actual pearl screen, because right now we're technically just doing the pop-up, we'll have a better sense of what to do. For example, I don't think the particles need to be there when we just have our collection of pearls. It's really only for the majesty and the magic of coming in, having completed a campaign. Oops, 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 oops. Having done that, we should now fix this because this whole jazz does not show up normally. All right. Good to know. Collection screen. This is sitting right here. And that's not bad, except for this. I think I can get rid of that render texture. I'm never going to use that. And it's going to cause some errors. I'll fix that. Hey, this is different. Hey, I don't do this anymore. Wait, do I do this? I don't know. I am trying to clean up. So, yeah, I do this, okay. But I don't, yeah, I don't need to save those values anymore. If blah, 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 then we do the pop-up. If not, I actually need to quickly remove the, you know what? Let's do this. This thing is here, but it really shouldn't be. There's something that searches for this Perl card and changes the color. I believe it happens after I start. So here, while I'm initializing, I can turn this whole thing on. Which means this script needs to refer to that. This thing will be turned on. And so in the beginning, this can be off. Oh, let me do this too. Okay, saved. I believe that's true because, yeah. So we're going to, this is active, and we can say the thing should be turned on. Okay. Otherwise, we don't need to turn on. In that way, if we play our game as normal, nothing. But if we completed a campaign, we see the glory. And that is pretty damn glorious, gotta say. So we say this, we're good, we come back and it's there, right? Yep. Okay. I believe I could clean up the leaves. Actually, this is called leaf 1, leaf 2 card. Okay. Sure. Should I turn off the entire prefab again? Actually, yeah. When you say okay, let's turn this entire thing off. What we need to assume then is that we will have included the Perl in the normal collection. I can assume that because we haven't done a thing with this screen yet. So for now, yes. And this kind of makes some sense. If we turn the pop-up on, we have the thing. we turn it off, we also turn off the thing. Yeah. Sure. Sure. I'm in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. We could be monkey. We don't have to be doggo. Monkey. And we're at the pearls screen. Nothing's going on. We complete a campaign, though. Ooh, something big happens. Whew, the glory and the wonder and the majesty. And I don't need this testing anymore, although I just like looking at this now, which is a good sign. Beginning, middle, end. We've been talking about this for a while. Beginning, middle, end. There's just good reasons why this makes so much sense for our special collectible thingy thing, right? So we see our thing and we're so awed and amazed at our glorious thing that we got, and we say, okay, and it's gone. But we're still here on the screen. We come back and come back. Okay, good. Fantastisch. So there is one other thing to talk about here. This mechanism looks fantastic. And I did go all the way around the horn on these issues, technically getting it to work, including making a shader and making various compositions of pearl. By the way, here's our leaves. This is the one I actually play. Conceivably, this is ready to be the pearl that we actually drop in the game. It's a little big, but imagine. Imagine that we are dropping it, right? And so if it starts out big, that's okay. Just not that big, right? If it starts out big and gets small because it's being dropped onto the table, that's fine. Um, oh, I did have to modify my shader because I realized it was transparent. You could see through it, and had to mess with the alpha a little bit. Again, the shader's processing pixels, not game rules. And so this also appears somewhat transparent. Isn't that funny? Um, Is that just lay it? Okay. um, and should I actually have it drop onto the table? Let's look at it in 3D. Should I have it actually drop onto the table? Well, that's the thing. I don't need to. I mean, first of all, notice there's no perspective in the camera. It's because this is not a perspective camera. Instead, I am going to just layer it and then scale it down to make it appear that it is going down. Yeah? So I will layer it in a place that makes some sense. So it's on top of things, including on top of the effects and stuff. It's going to have its own suite of effects and probably individual effects for every single pearl. Yeah. It's a longer effort that's going to be engaged to make our pearls do fantastic things. That's why I wanted to get all this other stuff out of the way. So we have data that we're saving, and we have campaigns, we have story, and we have the collection, and all that is done. Then we can drop pearls, and we can spend all the time we want on the rules and the effects. Okay. I'll have to do some kind of generic effects for now, but we'll do that later. So I think this is fine, actually. I might save this as that scale. So I just changed the prefab. Even though I was in the scene and playing, those changes stayed because this is not in the scene. This is actually in the project. I was making permanent changes to the original Perl object that we can use in the game. We're not using this anywhere else. That prefab is only being used there. Instead, on our special Perl reveal thing, this is a separate card. It's kind of the same thing, but it's made for this. In other words, I'm reusing Perl shader. Cool. I suppose we need some standard ways to color the Perl texture because we do it in multiple places and I want to do it consistently. Right now we're doing it in one place, but I'm going to want to do it in the game as well. The pop-up is what currently does some of that. And this routine, I basically want to standardize. I want to put it somewhere. It's probably going to have be its own system script, actually. Just for Perl. Probably. Yeah. Maybe props in general. Perl. Because I'm going to want to say, here's a base color, go to town, and do all of the adjustments, including alpha, appropriately. So it's in code and it's consistent and I can just call it from anywhere. Am I doing that right now? No. I almost want to. But let's review. Oh, I could also use that same object here in the collection screen, actually. Because while this object is going to do our special reveal, actually, this seems interestingly positioned. Is it just because this is far back? Oh, it is. It's very far. Okay. We will want pearls to be on this screen for sure, because it's the Perl collection. And I have put this in a folder called resources because I knew that I'm going to want to be able to call this up from code and make these and position these in code as I need to. For example, dropping it in the game is going to require you grabbing it, drag, and drop. But also here in the collection screen, I could have my script for the collection screen make a bunch of these copies. Basically do this. I'll do this with code and position these pearls. Now, yeah, that's far less satisfying than I want. Tiny. No, not good enough. I mean, I do want the ability to see a lot of different pearls. You can hover over them, you can read about them, blah, blah, blah. That's tiny. Those are too small. You have to think about that. Maybe that's why these were big before. That's actually too big, right? Okay, I'm gonna noodle those forever. But I can have my code bring these in as needed to make the collection screen look proper. Don't say. I know, I'm noodling. Yeah. At minimum, I want them to be big enough that you can really enjoy the look of it. So, I mean, yes, please. And who knows how many I need to show on screen at once? I don't. I don't know. But something, right? While I'm in play mode, I can just play and figure out what I want to see. Um, this looks kind of plain. No, you got these precious pearls, and where do you keep them? Just sitting on the table? Nah, come on. But you do need to see the variety. You need to know how many. You need to, bask in the glory of the collection of the pearls that you have. Blah blah blah. You need to see the difference in color. You need to be able to hover over them. Blah blah blah. I don't know what it is yet, but it's something. Um. Hmm. How far along are we? We have the ability to log in. Hold data for our account, manage our account, including the look of it. And we can play a quick match. We can play a campaign. As we do, we have story. The main game loop is extended because of that story, but also because of the meaning of finishing this match in terms of your campaign. We are adding to the experience of your account, etc. But also, with the idea that you are going to get something special you could bring into the match and drop. You could drop a pearl here, do a thing, right? We have yet to see what impact that is going to have on the gameplay of the main game loop. I suspect it's going to be a welcome addition to it, but it could be that there's lots of subtle impacts that we need to consider, including, hey, would you ever use a pearl in round one? Because who knows what's going to happen over the course of the match. You can't guarantee there will be a round three because that's overtime. And so, really, pearls are going to be dropped in round two most of the time. Maybe that's true. We don't know yet. I'm going to hold that as being totally ambiguous right now, and I'm fine with that. I don't know yet exactly what that's going to mean. I suspect it's going to be valuable sometimes to use your pearl early, sometimes to use it perhaps now before so you don't lose this thing, whatever. But I think, you know, or maybe reserve it to the third round because you realize you're going to lose, blah, 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 right? Now I'm glad I saved it because, I can see some of the impacts of having this extra element. Give me good cards, please. Jeez. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with just going with it for now, because I suspect this is too passive, and I'm addressing this need right now. The need of the player to actually have some change they can do rather than just watching this go down in flames because the cards turned over and you went, oops, oh no. And it just takes 30 seconds or so, but that's not fun. I want to be able to do something more than this, right? This is something, but it's really not much. Come on, War Unicorn. You got this. Actually, he's down to one. I knew because he got a luck win, and it means he was about to die anyway. So we lost. Ran a campaign and we lost. So go back to the campaign screen. We didn't progress. These are still active and I can choose a different one. If we get to the end though, special things. Okay, we need to get rid of this button. We need to get rid of that button because we're not actually going to regenerate campaigns like this. This is not, that's funny. Boy, look at that. That's a rare set of things. Wow, give me something better, random. Come on, random, do the random thing. This is not a thing I want players to be able to do. First of all, if you're partway through a campaign, I don't want you to lose your progress. Second of all, I don't want you to be like, okay, let's find an easy one. And there. Now let's complete this and get a pearl. No. In fact, I want to adjust the complexity of this based on your relative experience. Yeah. So we got that. You do a quick play. You have manage your profile. These options are blank. There's nothing here. But while this has been blank, it still is. But if we do finish the campaign, it is going to do something special. And it appropriately looks special now. I'm definitely feeling it now. That is glorious. Compared to, relatively speaking, glorious, right? Because our game is bare bones. It is not anything special yet, but this is already highlighted as special, yeah? And so, I don't know, man. I think we kind of did it for today. And I say that because I would like to give the what I ran into was the whole like, okay, I'm going to get a bunch of stuff done. And as I did, I ran into more and more and more problems. And while I worked through them enough to see the extent of it, like that render texture and the crazy warnings that I was getting and the technical issue that that related to, I went way down the rabbit hole and then said, wait a minute, hold the phone. Can't I just do this simply? And the answer was yes. Just do it simple. And in that way, I would like to spend a little time thinking about what the next step is and how I can intentionally do it. I can guarantee you I will use this animation script that I made for our Pearl drop. Absolutely. In fact, I might even use it in conjunction with our Pearl screen to do a fancy, scrolling through a number of pearls, because who knows how many pearls we're going to end up allowing you to get, right? Um, I want to think about it. I want to think about what we can do next. I'm super happy with this, and I want to roll with that momentum. And I think one of the things that I'm going to resolve is how we save this data so that we can have essentially an infinite number of pearls, or perhaps, right? But I need to think about it. Um, and just identifying the pearl is enough at this point. And then we'll drop a pearl and get it to do a thing, like heal all your cards or cause an earthquake, or how many different things can we have pearls do? So much, right? So much. Oh, glory. Yeah. And I'll probably stare at this for a while too. So, I think that's good. I think we are happy with the results of our work for today. And I think there's going to be more to do um, this coming week. I got to be honest, I probably need to spend time doing other things. But our scheduled time is Friday game design, Saturday game development, and Sunday games. So who knows? I can always do random streams throughout the week, so I might mix it up. You never know. In the meantime, thank you for hanging out, watching the VOD. Please show up on stream. You can listen to some jungle sounds, jungle music. We get to work on the game together. You can suggest lots of good things and be a part of it. And I welcome that. I celebrate that. We can have lots of people be a part of it at the same time. And I'm all good with that. I think you'll enjoy it too. So follow, subscribe, like, retweet, whatever you got to do. And I will see you later. So have fun, take care, be good, do well.